thank you. You're most welcome. Thank you for entering us all very well. Thank you. We did recognize Chief Ima Ago earlier on, so he stepped out. I recognize you especially, not only as my older brother, but also as my Ogo. You're most welcome, sir. Please, let's put our hands together for Ima Ago, one of the leaders of IPI Nigeria. They have tried to sustain the movement and give verve and give vision to the project. Please, we shall duly recognize quite a number of others as they come along. Thank you. A bit of musical interlude, please, and then we'll wait for the arrival of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and then we'll kick off with the program. Thank you all and welcome once more. Some music, please. Thank you. Thank you, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Any moment now, we shall welcome the arrival of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you for being a part of it. Let's return to our seats. Let's return to our seats. I thank you very much, publisher Nature News. I'm informed that is one of those who arrived here earlier than most of us. Alhaji Aliu Akoshile, thank you very much. Alhaji Aliu, where you there now, Shu? Aha, okay, thank you very much. It's been a while, man. Thank you, so good to see you. We also welcome my friend from way back, the National Concord, the Concord Press, Dr. Obiora Chukumba. Thank you also for being a part of this. Omini Oden, thank you very much. Most guests, ladies and gentlemen, please, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our colleagues from the media, this is your event. Please, let's take it easy. Our cameramen, please. Cameramen, please. Thank you. Let's take it easy. Let's all do our jobs. Please. Please. Thank you. So any moment now, His Excellency, the Vice President, will be here with us. And the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation has stepped out with some of his colleagues and DGs of the Ministry of Information and National Orientation to receive our Chairman, Vice President Kashim Shettima, GCON. We welcome you all once again, and to say that apart from the launch program of the special Nigeria Book of Infamy, that's a rather assertive title, Abiodun, we'll hear from later on to know whether it is as infamous as implies. I'll also be speaking to some issues. We shall be addressing issues concerning media repression in Nigeria, press freedom, and democratic accountability. We shall also examine the process of building sustainable media in Nigeria and how to navigate innovation, credibility, and revenue challenges. I was told that the inductees, that's what we'll be bringing up the rear of this program later this afternoon. I do not know whether it's something we can do right now, because I hear that it's quite a number that will be inducted into the IPI later this afternoon. I was required to step out for registration, but somehow we would find time, because any moment now our chairman, special guest of honor, will step in, so it might not be possible. What we can do is get our involved putting this program together to come with the registration forms to the inductees where they are in the hall. If we can do that, I think that would be wonderful. Thank you. I wouldn't know whether Mr. Kole Shetima is in the house. We welcome you especially because I know you'll be joining our panelists later on to examine some of the issues that will be presented by Isiaka Jibola on building sustainable media in Nigeria and how to navigate innovation, credibility, and revenue challenges. I think one of us, Aziz Shekwene, has in fact written a book on that, and I'm happy that he's one of those who will be speaking to it. So you'll be getting some of the ideas from the book, which I've had the privilege of perusing long before now. Most distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may we be on our feet, standing in welcome of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Vice President Kashim Shettima. May we please remain standing for the national anthem.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Thank you all very much. We may resume our seats. We welcome you all, most distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, particularly the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who has graciously accepted to join us at the International Press Institute Nigeria at the 2025 Annual Conference. Please, let's put our hands together as we welcome heartily Vice President Kashim Shettima, GCON. Thank you very much, sir. We are very honored to have you here with us. Thank you. Most distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before the arrival of His Excellency, the Vice President, we did recognize the presence of quite a number of our distinguished guests who are here. Among them, our Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, we thank you once more. We also thank the representative of the Director General of the Department of State Services. Thank you, ma'am. We thank our leaders in IPI. We welcome you. We also thank and welcome and specially recognize the members of the board of the IPI. We didn't recognize the presence of the president of the IPI because he was busy putting things together. So Musikilu Mujid, we specially recognize you and welcome you now that the vice president is here. Thank you very much. And sitting next to him is the deputy president of the IPI Nigeria, Fidelis Mba. Thank you also, Fidelis. Thank you. Most distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we'll kick off with the program in earnest. I wish to invite Mr. Musikilu Mujid to welcome us formally to this program. Musikilu, please. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Please, let's put our hands together as we welcome Mujid, who is here to welcome us all heartily to this program.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends of the press, good morning. It is my honor to welcome you to the 2025 conference an annual general meeting of the International Press Institute, Nigeria. This gathering is more than a routine annual event. It is a critical moment for sober reflection on the state of journalism in our country and for collective action to defend what remains of our civic space. Today, we meet not only as professionals, but as custodians of an essential democratic institution, journalism. And at a time like this, when our freedoms are under growing pressure, our responsibility becomes even more urgent. Let me especially acknowledge our chairman for today's event, His Excellency Vice President Kashim Shettima, GCON. Thank you for your presence. I also welcome our special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris. Your participation today signals openness to continued dialogue, and we hope a commitment to meaningful reform. Thank you, sir. To our keynote speakers, moderators, panelists, and colleagues present, thank you. Your voices, perspectives, and courage are the lubricants sustaining this profession. Before we continue, I crave our indulgence to rise for a 1-minute silence in honor of our late colleague and treasurer, Rafat Salami. May Rafat Salami so rest in perfect peace. Thank you, sir. Thank you. This exercise is important because last year, even in severe pain and confined to a wheelchair, if we all remember, she insisted on attending this conference. She greeted guests, coordinated logistics, took photographs with her phone, and served with grace until her body could no longer carry her. Her commitment was a reminder that journalism is not mere a job, it is a calling. It demands sacrifice, it demands conviction. To honor her legacy, the Nigerian National Committee of IPR Nigeria will endow a prize in her name at the University of Abuja, her alma mater. We will work with the university to ensure that every year young journalists are inspired by the values Ravat lived by: integrity, courage, and selfless service. Ladies and gentlemen, we meet under a troubling cloud. The Nigerian media landscape is in distress. This year, Nigeria fell 10 places from 112 to 122 in the global press freedom ranking. That steep drop is not the result of one incident. It is the cumulative effect of consistent and aggressive repression across platforms and across newsrooms. Nigeria is classified as one of West Africa's most dangerous countries for journalists. This is not a beautiful portrayal of our country, but the description is not baseless. The pattern is unmistakable. Journalists are monitored, attacked, and arbitrarily arrested. Completely lawful reporting activities such as filming a demolition, covering a protest, documenting police misconduct have become dangerous acts. Media houses are shut down for political reasons. In Zamfara, 4 broadcast stations, NTA, Pride FM, Gamji TV, and her Huma TV were once closed simply for airing an opposition rally. Investigative journalists face targeted intimidation. we record the harrowing experience of a colleague, Segun Olatunji, who was abducted, blindfolded, chained, and transported hundreds of kilometers away from his base for a controversial reporting. Online reporters are now frequent victims of cybercrime accusations. The cybercrime law, despite recent amendments, continues to be used to suppress digital journalism. Several journalists have been arrested or prosecuted under this legislation. This has been said before, and I will say it again. Journalism is not a crime, and journalists are not criminals. The Constitution protects freedom of expression. This the court have affirmed, but in practice we continue to see arrest, intimidation, censorship, and violence. To our colleagues across the country, this is not the time for apathy and isolation. We must act as a unified community. When a journalist is arrested in Kano, colleagues in Akwa Ibom must care. When a newsroom is attacked in Niger, reporters in Lagos must speak out. When a reporter disappears in editors in Abuja must raise the alarm. Solidarity is our greatest line of defense. The stakes are high. Independent journalism is the lifeblood of democracy. When the press is intimidated, elections lose credibility. Governance becomes opaque. Corruption flourishes, and citizens lose their voice. We must not allow that to become Nigeria's story. We urge the federal government to call state governors, security agencies, other officials involved in impunity against media and journalists to order. The governments to ensure state governors, security agencies, and public officials stop the harassment of journalists. No democracy can function when those who hold power to account are shielded from scrutiny. This administration should also strengthen mechanisms for journalist safety. Nigeria has no functioning state protection system for journalists. This must change. In addition, the time has come for Nigeria to review laws that enable abuse, particularly the cybercrime and outdated criminal defamation provisions. We are also urging the government to address the culture of impunity in our country. There are too many centers of power routinely deploying state powers against journalists without consequences. When crimes against journalists go unpunished, the message is dangerous, that silencing the press is acceptable. But let us be clear, ladies and gentlemen, journalism is a tough, risky, and selfless public service. And if they get nothing for their sacrifice for society, journalists at least deserve respect and protection. Therefore, any further attack on journalists will be fiercely resisted going forward. I thank you all for listening and welcome.
Thank you. That was a mini standing ovation for Musikil Mojid. Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for him once more. Because journalism, the business of minding other people's business, is risky, it's tough. That's what he said. But he has also enjoined us that solidarity is our greatest line of defense. So as much as possible, if it happens anywhere, we must all be concerned. Even here in Nigeria, when something went wrong in Gaza, and some of our colleagues practicing journalism in that space were attacked and some killed, the Nigerian NGE issued a statement. That is how it should be, at least show concern. Mr. Chairman, His Excellency the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Information, colleagues, friends who are here at the 2025 Annual Conference of the International Press Institute Nigeria. Please, we crave your indulgence for some 10 minutes or even less as we take these brief remarks from the Executive Director of the International Press Institute Global, Scott Griffin. Please, we'll screen that in a moment as I step aside. Thank you.
Dear members of the IPI Nigeria National Committee, it's my pleasure as IPI's Executive Director to greet you as you gather for your 2025 Annual Congress and Annual General Meeting. On behalf of the IPI Secretariat and the IPI Global Network, I'd like to wish you a successful and productive event as you deliberate on critical issues facing the media industry in Nigeria, foster collaboration, and advance the cause of free, independent, and responsible journalism. We are at a moment of immense global change in geopolitics, technology, and society, and so this could not be a more important moment to come together to strengthen the independent journalism we need to navigate these changes and help protect media freedom as a cornerstone of democratic society. We want to commend the IPI Nigeria National Committee for organizing this crucial event and creating spaces for learning, sharing, and solidarity. As many of you know, this year, 2025, marks IPI's 75th anniversary, a milestone in the fight to protect and defend journalism and press freedom around the globe. And it was wonderful to see so many of our Nigerian members at the recent IPI World Congress and 75th anniversary event in October in Vienna. IPI was founded in 1950 in the shadows of the Second World War by 34 leading editors from 15 countries who believed that a free press would lead to a freer, better world. It was also founded on the belief that improving links among journalists would lead to better communication across borders and therefore to peace. Over the past 75 years, IPI has stood at the forefront of advocating for the rights of journalists in the face of political censorship, pressure, and repression. And throughout this time, whether fighting censorship or documenting the truth in war, the IPI Global Network has been a source of solidarity for journalists under threat. In this anniversary year, and at a moment of global uncertainty, this solidarity is more important than ever. We can therefore be proud of what IPI has accomplished over 7.5 decades, but our task now is to look to the future, to strengthen press freedom and ensure the sustainability of independent journalism, ensuring that they remain effective guarantors of free society. At IPI, we're working hard toward that aim, and we're delighted to be joined by our members around the world in that effort. To close, I'd like to thank the IPI Nigeria National Committee members for their dedication, engagement, and commitment to the cause of press freedom. To all of our members and IPI Nigeria Congress participants, we wish you fruitful deliberations and a successful event. We look forward to hearing about the outcome and to continue working together to defend quality, independent journalism. And we send our best greetings from Vienna and the IPI Global Network.
Thank you. Let's put hands together for him. Thank you very much for the message of solidarity, Scott Griffin. We are really honored, just as we are happy that one of us is a member of that global body. He's been very active. He's one of those who led to laying the foundation for IPI in Nigeria. Rahim Adedoyin, thank you very much for all you're doing for IPI. Thank you. He's a special friend because we come way back from Rutham House. It's a special place. The newsroom was in the basement. so they couldn't quite reach us until many years later. Thank you, Rahim. We welcome you as well before we invite our special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. We thank you for identifying with us again at this conference. You were with us last year. You are here again. Thank you very much. Please, can we put our hands together for Alhaji Lai Mohammed? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Other friends who are here, Mr. Chairman, Taiwo Adisa, Tribune. Okay, right. Thank you. You can't gag me or microphone. Thank you. Haji Hassani, thank you for your presence here. Hamza Idris, also of Daily Trust, we are honored. Ishmael Omipidan, Deputy Editor, the Sun newspaper. Ishmael, where are you? What part of the hall are you? Just wave. Oh, okay.
In our land. Thank you, sir, for coming. This is also coming only a few weeks ago when the President of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was at the Nigerian Guild of Editors conference. I can't remember any time in our history when almost back to back the President and the Vice President are attending media events in this. Let me say that in 2018, Nigeria hosted the IPI here in Abuja. All the leading media executives and senior editors from around the world converged on Abuja in 2018. This was made possible because Alhaji Lai Mohammed was Minister of Information at that time. I think he deserves that recognition. Special spokesperson, Malam Garba Shehu, who in the last 2 years has become fresher and more relaxed. And I was discussing with him the other time to give me whatever it is that he takes to make him fresher. He says, when you leave this job, you are going to get fresher. Thank you for the work that you do. And I know that in 2016, I was part of your team together with Mr. Rahim Adedoyin. The late Malam Samaila Funtua went to the US to ensure that Nigeria indeed got the hosting right for the 2018 IPI Global Conference here in Abuja. Thank you for the work that you do. The heads of agencies under the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, I'm seeing our own Ali M. Ali, MD News Agency of Nigeria, the Director General National Orientation Agency, and other heads of the representative of the DG of FRCN. So you can see the entire Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation is actually represented here. The Senior Special Assistant to the President, Abdulaziz, the representative of the DG DSS, and all the veterans here. I'm seeing Mr. Folu Olamiti. Happy birthday, sir. Mr. Folu turned 75 just a few days ago, and he's here with us. My friend, Malam Isaka Ajibola, Malam Aliu Akoshele, and so many of you, is actually very difficult to mention all of you here. I have a very limited time. Very hardworking member of the IPI. I remember that she served as my secretary